Tokyo Dome filled with love. Jeon Jungkook and BTS received surprise gifts from ARMY. The final note had barely faded when something unexpected began to unfold across Tokyo Dome. The lights softened, the cheers lingered, and the air, still vibrating from hours of music, emotion, and unforgettable performances, shifted into something warmer, something quieter, something deeply personal. It was no longer just about the concert. It was about what came after. And in that moment, the entire stadium transformed into a living, breathing expression of love. For hours, BTS had delivered a performance that shook the very foundation of Tokyo Dome. Explosive vocals, synchronized choreography, and a stage presence that felt almost unreal had left tens of thousands of fans breathless. Jeon Jungkook, in particular, had dominated the night with a level of intensity that many were already calling legendary. His voice soared, his movements commanded attention, and his connection with the audience felt stronger than ever before. But what happened after the performance? That was something no one could have fully prepared for. As the members began to wind down, exchanging smiles and taking in the overwhelming energy of the crowd, a ripple of movement started among the fans. At first, it seemed subtle, just a few signs being raised, a few coordinated gestures. But within seconds, it became clear that something much bigger was happening. A project, a surprise, a message, and it was all for them. Across the massive stadium, armies began holding up carefully prepared banners, glowing messages, and coordinated lightstick patterns that slowly formed a breathtaking visual. The words became clearer as the lights aligned, spreading from one side of the dome to the other like a wave of emotion. Thank you. We love you. Always with you. The stadium, which had just moments ago been filled with thunderous noise, fell into a different kind of silence. A silence filled with meaning, with intention, with thousands of hearts speaking at once without saying a single word out loud. The members noticed that of course they did. One by one, their expressions began to change. Smiles softened, eyes widened, movements slowed as they tried to take it all in. And then came the moment that would define the night. Jungkook looked out into the crowd, really looked. Not as a performer scanning an audience, but as someone trying to absorb something far bigger than himself. His gaze moved across the sea of lights, reading the messages, seeing the effort, feeling the sincerity behind every single detail. And for a brief moment, he froze. Fans closest to the stage noticed it first. The way his expression shifted, just slightly, but enough. The way his posture changed, as if the weight of the moment had settled onto him all at once. And then, slowly, a smile appeared. Not the confident, charismatic smile seen during performances, but something softer, something real, something emotional. Around him, the other members of BTS reacted in their own ways. Some pointed at the crowd, visibly touched. Others laughed quietly, overwhelmed by the scale of the surprise. There were exchanged glances, shared reactions, and an unspoken understanding passing between them. This was not just another fan event. This was something deeply meaningful, because these gifts, these messages, weren't random. They were planned, prepared, created with intention by fans who had waited, supported, and believed through every phase of BTS's journey. And now, they were giving something back. The atmosphere grew heavier, not in a negative way, but in a way that made every second feel significant. Cameras captured everything. Phones recorded. But even through the screens, it was clear that this moment couldn't be fully contained. It had to be felt. Jungkook stepped closer to the edge of the stage. There was a hesitation, almost like he was searching for the right words. And when he finally spoke, the noise that followed wasn't explosive, it was emotional. Fans screamed, yes, but there was also something else beneath it. A sense of connection that went beyond excitement. He tried to express gratitude, tried to explain how much it meant, but words, in that moment, felt insufficient. Because how do you describe something like this? How do you explain what it feels like to stand in front of thousands of people who have come together, not just to watch you perform, but to show you how much you matter to them? His voice, usually so controlled and powerful, carried a different tone now, softer, more vulnerable, and that vulnerability only made the moment stronger. Other members joined in, sharing their thoughts, their reactions, their gratitude. Each one added a layer to the experience, turning what could have been a simple closing into something unforgettable. Fans responded with even more energy. Chants filled the dome once again, But this time they weren't just about excitement. They were about appreciation, about unity, about a bond that had been built over years and was now being displayed in its purest form as the final moments approached. There was a sense that no one wanted it to end. Not the fans, not the members. Because this wasn't just the end of a concert, that it was the culmination of something much bigger, a shared journey, a mutual understanding, a connection that had been tested, strengthened, and now celebrated in the most powerful way possible. Jungkook looked out one more time, taking it all in, memorizing it, and perhaps, in that moment, realizing something even deeper, that this wasn't just about performing on a global stage, that it was about impact, about meaning, about the invisible thread that connects artist and audience in a way that transcends language, distance, and time. As the lights began to fade and the members slowly exited the stage, the energy didn't disappear. It lingered, in the hearts of those who were there, in the countless recordings that would soon spread across the world. And, most importantly, in the memory of a night when Tokyo Dome wasn't just filled with music, that it was filled with love, a love so strong that it didn't need translation, a love so powerful that it turned a concert into something unforgettable. And as fans left the venue, holding on to that feeling, sharing it, reliving it again and again, one thought remained clear above all else. This was only the beginning. The energy outside Tokyo Dome did not fade even after the members of BTS disappeared behind the stage. If anything, it only grew stronger. Fans remained in their seats longer than expected, many unwilling to leave, as if stepping outside would somehow break the magic of what they had just experienced. The echoes of chants still lingered in the air, bouncing softly against the massive structure, refusing to disappear completely. For those inside, it felt like time had slowed down. Groups of armies huddled together, replaying moments on their phones, pointing at clips, gasping, laughing, and sometimes even crying all over again. Some were still holding the banners they had prepared for the surprise event, gripping them tightly, as if they were precious memories made tangible. Others stared at the stage, now empty, but still glowing faintly under the dimmed lights, as though it carried the presence of the members even after they were gone. And among all the conversations, one name continued to surface repeatedly: Jeon Jungkook. Did you see his reaction? He looked so emotional. I think he was about to cry. The way Jungkook had responded to the surprise had left a lasting impression. It wasn't dramatic or overly expressive. It was subtle, but powerful in its sincerity. The kind of reaction that doesn't need exaggeration to be felt deeply. Fans who had watched him for years recognized it immediately. This was genuine. And that authenticity was exactly what made the moment so unforgettable. As people slowly began to exit the venue, the night air outside Tokyo Dome carried a different kind of energy. The streets were alive, not chaotic, but vibrant. Fans walked in groups, still buzzing, still talking, still reliving everything. Some were already posting updates online, their fingers moving quickly as they tried to capture emotions that words could barely contain. Within minutes, social media platforms began to flood. Photos of the coordinated fan project spread rapidly. Videos capturing the exact moment when the members noticed the surprise started trending almost instantly. Hashtags climbed higher and higher, gaining momentum across countries and time zones. It didn't matter where fans were. If they were connected to BTS, they felt it. And at the center of it all was the image of Jungkook, standing on that stage, looking out at a sea of love. Clips of his expression were replayed over and over again. The slight pause,